The project. My wife is in an emotional affair that has lasted about 4 months. I think I have gone about this all wrong judging by some of the posts I have read so far. There are a lot of similarities and differences in them all, so I need some help of my own. Their relationship started like most, just friends. However, I noticed that the amount of text messages on the phone bill was getting more and more, and she always deleted them as if hiding something. I of course confronted her, and the usual just friends and you can't tell me who I can be friends with came out. After the texting and Facebook messaging went on for what I felt was too long without any explanation, I decided to put a keylogger on the computer so I could see what they talked about. I ended up finding a message talking about wanting to sleep with each other. I confronted her about it, and of course she says it was all just talk and she would never go through with it. She assured me that she wouldn't talk to him ever again and that it got out of hand. As far as I know, she didn't have any contact with him for about a month, and she got a text from him one day and it's been back on ever since. And it's gotten progressively worse. I found out she has an app on her phone that she can text him without showing up on phone bill. She says she needed time to think and figure things out, so she went to stay at her sister's and ended up meeting up at his place. She says it hasn't been physical, but all I've ever got was half-truth, and the only time she admits anything is if I have solid proof. This is where I think I took the wrong path. I have told her over and over that I can forgive her for almost anything, and if she is will, we can make it work. She agreed, and the very first day she was unwilling to erase the app from her phone, which told me she wasn't committed like she said, so I told her I was going to set an appointment with a divorce attorney, hoping that if she seen that I was serious about all of this she would stop. It didn't work after I got home from my appointment, which was nothing more than a consultation just to get info and make her see I was serious. So, when I got home, she asked a couple questions about it and said she was going to go have a beer, which ended up leading back to his house from about 10 that night until about 4 the next morning. We argued a lot when she finally came home, and again, she assured me nothing happened, and that she wants time to separate and think about things that she confused about. I told her there is no option for separation anymore. She took that option off the table when she decided to go to his house. It was either give up the OM and work on marriage, or I was going to file for divorce. She said again that I can't tell her she can't have this friend, and I went down and filed for divorce, which I regret still. She just moved out yesterday, and after getting her stuff loaded up, she didn't even say goodbye to the kids or anything, just walked out and said see you tomorrow. She was at her sister's long enough to get stuff unpacked a little bit and waited until her sister went to bed and went straight to OM's house. I have so many regrets about the things I have done, and I really don't want to go through with the divorce because I think she will realize that she is screwing up. I am seriously just so confused and need help. I feel I have tried everything and really do want to stay married. Comments. Sorry dude, but you don't go to the house of the person you've been texting about having a good time with at 10 p.m. and returning at 4 a.m. and nothing happened. Dude, she's lying through her teeth. I don't care if she has an app on her phone that erases texts from the phone bill. If she ever synced her phone up to the computer, you can probably still retrieve those texts. I'm not sure how. Will someone please tell him how to do this? Thanks. You are in the driver's seat now. The main reason she moved out is because of the fog she's in right now with this affair. She wants to continue the affair without interference from you. She doesn't have to hide it so hard from you now. This can bite her in the butt big time in the courts. She moved out, therefore, the courts may view you as the primary parent. You're the one taking care of them full time, so they may have you continue to be the custodial parent. She would have to pay you CS. Find out if this affair is full blown, to blow it out of the water. Expose to her friends and family that you two are separated because of her affair. Here's the deal. Affairs are like roaches. They thrive in the darkness, but as soon as you turn on the light, they scatter. Same with the affair. Once the fantasy is brought out into the light and the reality of how many people they've hurt, it's sometimes enough to break them apart. Also, if they happen to work together, that's usually a big no. Perhaps their HR department need to be notified. OP responds. I can see stuff on her phone so I can read her text and see who she calls. That not even to point. I already know they do and have been talking. They just stepped it up a notch and are seeing each other. I just feel like I can't give up, like there's always something else I can do or say. I already have asked for full custody of the kids, and the only way she is going to get them is to hire her own attorney, which I don't think she can afford alone. My stepson, her son, has even talked about staying with me. He has no respect for his mother throughout all of this. He knew a while ago and even told me, you should have left her a long time ago, and that coming from a 14-year-old stepson. Either way, I just have to find some way to stay strong and get by without her. We are a not-fault state. As far as my stepson goes, his mom and dad have shared custody of him. Neither one pays CS to the other for him. He stayed with us until about 2 weeks ago when the S really started hitting the fan. He stayed with his dad, who he can't stand, and now he can't stand his mother either. I am waiting on a return call from my attorney for info on if he can choose to stay with me. I know the roller coaster well the past 4 months. I've lost about 30 pounds in hours and hours of sleep, but never missed a day of work that wasn't covered, and never missed out on anything that has to do with the kids. Homework, supper, everything. I know the roller coaster is not over. I think my biggest fear of this whole thing is the fear of the unknown. Obviously, I imagined that we would be married forever because we've been through our share of crap over the years. But I always thought we would have each other to lean on and make it through. This is definitely the worst I've ever felt and the hardest thing by far I've ever had to deal with. EOM was a childhood friend of hers. They were in my sister's wedding together. He was married until I sent his wife the message I found of him and my wife's talking about having a good time. As far as I know, she filed for divorce. I also exposed the affair to my family and hers, thinking someone would talk sense into her, and nothing happened. Didn't really get the help I was hoping for, and obviously not the reaction from her I hoped for. I have been trying to get a hold of her through email, but it might have been a shared email act that she doesn't use anymore. I just wanted to give her an update just in case he was telling her he is trying to work things out. Just changed the locks. She called on her way home like she usually does and was making small talk. I told her that we have nothing else to talk about and she made her decision and that we obviously want different things. I want marriage and she does not. So, unless she wants to talk about the divorce or the kids, she shouldn't call. I hope this gets easier cause that sucked. I think she was surprised about me finding my spine. She definitely didn't expect the conversation to go that way. It's just amazing to me at how sure she is that she has done nothing wrong and how none of this even bothers her. Like she has no conscience, no guilt, no anything. Just emptiness, at least towards me. The only bill we have to split is the cell phone bill, and she has agreed to pay her portion and has done so already. It is my name, so as soon as she doesn't pay on time I just got to click the mouse and shut it off. No credit cards, separate bank accounts already. Just have to decide what furniture she wants. She already said she didn't want custody of kids. So, I have them and she is already paying CS. And telling everyone hasn't affected her one bit. Her mom and sis tried to talk sense into her like once and gave up because it's easier. I guess. I did slip up tonight and tried for a small conversation after I told her to not waste her time. I did. Made me feel like crap. Not only did I do what I said for her not to, but looked and felt weak in the process. All I can say is that this suck. Quick update. Not sure if it's a good sign. I have his software on the wife's phone. Keeps track of websites viewed. Since I found out about all this, I have been telling her to do research online about affairs and how to stop and what to expect because that's all I have done. Anyways, this is her second day out of the house. The first night spent with her OM. Tonight I looked and she was doing some research on affairs and marriage after affairs and things like that. Not too sure if it's good or bad. Just thought I'd share. My head is always full of what ifs, and I still can't get everything out of my head. One minute I'm good and feel strong and capable, and the next a big pile of wuss wanting to get her back. I'm sure it's all normal and gets easier with time. It's just time is a turtle. Hurry the duck up already. This is so frustrating. One of excuses for wanting to leave me was not the of course, but because she wanted to prove to herself that she didn't have to rely on me and she could do it alone. The funny thing is she talked her sister into getting an apartment so she could move in and not have anything in her name. How is that independence or doing anything alone? It's like her family is enabling her to continue her affair and stay in the fog. Frustrating. What a night. Wife started texting about just small talk. I was just kind of answering her questions short and sweet, not any real conversation. Finally, she asked if she could come over and watch Big Brother with the kids and stay the night cause of bugs at her sister's. I said sure. So, she was here for about 15 minutes before somehow an argument started. Not even sure now how it started. So, we argued for a few. Well, she yelled and I was trying to be calm. She was angrier than I've ever seen. She almost hit me. She was literally pulling her hair. So, I calmly just told her I knew she was having an affair and told her I knew she was confused. And told her I wanted to help. Just kept telling her I wanted to help. She finally agreed to talk with no arguing. During our talk she said nothing happened. I think she would have told me if it did. And she don't even enjoy talking to OM that much anymore. I told her it was because by me exposing it and letting her move out it took all the fun out of it. She said she's still unhappy and doesn't want to be married anymore. And I told her that her affair has taught her to think like that from 4 months of lies and deceit, and I was the one standing in her way of the OM. I told her it took 4 months to get to that point and it won't return overnight. She didn't agree with me and said she just didn't want to be married, period, pretty much. So, I told her that she can stay here until her sister figures out that apartment situation or she figures out something. I told her I wouldn't talk any more of it to try and change her mind. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know whether I'm trying to save my marriage or not. I'm trying to help her see what's going on because no one else is. I don't want her to self-destruct. I know she's put me through pain and I just don't like seeing her like this. I thought for sure I did the right thing last night by communicating with her and letting her get things in the open. I can understand if she doesn't want to be married because of months of making me be the bad guy. I really did think I was helping the situation. Oh my God, I'm so frustrated. It seems now I took 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. I really did think I was helping to lift the fog. I would seriously do anything to make this marriage work. I can't believe what I'm doing and how screwed up I am over this. My thoughts are so jumbled and nothing seems to be the right thing to do. Now I know I messed up last night. I should have stuck to my guns. I know she is feeling the reality slap and she is scrambling. I know she is seriously struggling with herself right now, and for some reason I feel as her husband it's my place to help her through it. Good or bad marriage or not, I think she is just too stubborn to admit she is wrong, but the way she was beating herself up and yelling at me shows me that she knew I was right and was pissed at me because of it. I know all this sounds stupid, like I'm justifying the way she's treated me, but it is seriously how I feel. I went home and told her that the only way she can stay is that she has zero contact. And I watch her send the text telling him to not contact her and she will not be contacting him, and then uninstall the app that they use for contacting each other and have full transparency, no hiding, no nothing. I told her if she can do that then she can stay, and if she doesn't think she can handle that then she should leave. I told her that if she agrees to stay and all it involves, that it doesn't necessarily mean we are fixing anything, that we are just not making it worse. Good start, I hope. Here we go again. She's begging to come home but just for the night. She still doesn't want to be married. Now she's saying she'll do anything and she wants to try and work it out, just to get her way and stay the night. I've held my ground so far. I asked how she is going to prove to me she's in it for the right reasons. She had nothing. Comments: not all cheaters are the same. There are those that are remorseful from the moment they cross the line and betray their spouse. These people struggle with the need to tell their spouse about their betrayal and sparing the devastation they know their confession will cause. These folks are the ones that usually come to these forums for guidance and support in doing the right thing. On the other end are the cheaters who care nothing but getting their high from their lover and care absolutely nothing for their spouses and children. These people react to their spouse's discovery of their affair with outrage, shaming tactics, and blame shifting, and go underground to continue with their affair. These people are far from being remorseful and don't care if their marriages end. Reconciliation with the former group is more than possible, since they are more than willing to do the heavy lifting in the recovery. The latter folks are totally hopeless, and the best thing is to just file for divorce, otherwise living with them is pure hell on earth. Which of these two groups does your wife belong to? Don't let her stay. She doesn't want the kids, doesn't want you. What she wants is the security she has. I am also sure of one thing. She wants to be loved. She needs to be loved. But the problem is, she doesn't want to have to give you love. She keeps coming back to find out if you still love her. Do not let her back in. She needs to turn into a mascara and snot-running mess. Keep the strong 180. Keep moving forward. She has to be able to envision life without you. The more meds you give her, the longer it will take her to wake up from the fog. She needs to sit alone in a crummy little apartment and survey the destruction she caused. Stay strong. OP responds: so, I stuck to my it last night, told her to sleep on it, to buy myself some time and also let her calm down. Told her to call me today and we can talk. She said she told her OM on Tuesday that they were through, which kind of explains the way she was acting on Wednesday. The tantrum with the pulling of her hair and all her frustrations coming out like she was self-destructing. Almost like a crackhead going through withdrawals. Anyways, that's just speculation. But her sister confirmed to me that she read the text and she did tell him that. She says she doesn't want to go to counseling. We had my stepson in it for a while, and it was truly a waste of money. But she agrees with me that a couple months ago, when she stopped talking to him when she first got busted, that we did start making progress, and she says she is done talking and wants to see what happens. I need suggestions, advice, a kick in the ass, everything. So, she stopped by before work to prove that she deleted the app on her phone which she used to contact him, which she can install and uninstall all day. So, she handed her phone over and said go ahead and look through it. So, I did, and noticed she still had his name and number in her contacts. So, I went ahead and deleted it. The reason I deleted it is simple. The app she uses needs to have the contacts stored the phone, and the spy thing I have on her phone shows if new contacts are stored, so I was pretty sure she would show where her head is at. And sure enough, she reprogrammed his number. So, I called her on her lunch and told her that I will bring the stuff she has at the house to our son's football game tonight, and she can give me the child support that we had talked about before, and I'm going to go ahead and take the cell phone. That's in my name. She tried to feed me BS excuses about saving the number, but I see through it and told her she wasn't going to use my cell phone account to continue her affair, and that when we hung up, I was going to suspend the account so the phone will be useless to her. She wasn't very happy when we hung up, and I'm sure she's not very happy not being able to text OM for comforting words. As for me, I'll see her at the football game. After that, I'm a ghost. I have a signed paper from the apartment taking her off the lease, which she signed Monday, so legally she is out. And mentally she is out there. So, one day at a time now. I was, and still am, pissed at her mom and sis for being enablers. And here I was too. No more though. Poor wife had to go buy a phone in a hotel room for a week. And of course, it's all my fault. Story 2. Quiet night. I have been married for 20 years now. It has been mostly good. I have trouble expressing feelings, which I am much better at now. Well, in 2011 my wife and I grew apart. I did my thing and she hers. We really did not spend much time together except at home. She found a couple friends on the computer and went to meet them. I believe they were emotional affairs. I found out and confronted her. We talked and even went to joint counseling. She said all was well and we stopped going. I found out she was still seeing one man 6 months later and let her know it better stop now. Since then, we seem to spend time together and show more affection toward each other. I thought all was well and I was happy. She seemed to be also. Fast forward to October of 2019. I was suspicious about a few things. She was on Facebook a lot more. She spent most of the time playing farm games that I knew of. I do workdays and she is a stay-at-home mom. So, she has plenty of time to mess around. I found a text to someone saying good morning honey at 5:30 a.m. I mean she rolls out of bed and first thing she thinks of is someone else. She also texted that man at 10:30 saying come snuggle with me. So, the next day I texted after all of these years why. She knew she was busted but didn't know what I knew. I slept in the spare bed for 25 days trying to decide what to do. I finally slept in our bed with her when she finally broke down crying one night saying she didn't want to sleep in that bed without me and was going to the couch. We talked and talked. I asked her a few questions and she told me some answers. She said she met 2 guys and slept with one 3 to 4 times and the other 2 to 3 times. I felt she was not telling the whole story. I found she had many more contacts than that. She admitted to finding these friends on Adult Friend Finder which her friend told her about. She no longer talks with this friend of hers and seems to be doing good. I told her that I made the promise to myself that if anything ever happened again, I would leave and never come back. She was so scared she would lose me and did seem remorseful. She said she even thought of X herself. Well, all seems fine, but I still wonder how many more guys there were. I check on her old email account that she doesn't use and have found more friends. One guy said they met and had slept together. This bothers me that she never came totally clean and told me everything. I still have questions but am not sure if I should bring it up again. We have not talked about the affair since the night I asked her how many guys and if she really loved me and many more questions. Should I bring it up again? Should I ask her to come clean and see if she tells me about this new guy I found out about to see if she is still lying? Should I just try to forget? There has only been one day, last Saturday, since October 7, 2019 that I haven't thought about the cheating. I have cried so many tears and it still hurts so much. I feel we have not talked enough about it and that if we can't figure out why it happened it might happen again. What should I do? She knows how much I really do love her. I don't think she knew until she saw how bad it hurt me. Things are better now but I keep remembering the past almost every day. Time will tell. I told her my heart will heal but it will be scared forever. I have decided to make a last effort to recover what info I can from her contacts and then when I know all that I think I will find a time to talk with her. Your therapist is right in waiting till after a trauma to react. I wish I would have gathered more info before I confronted my wife and she had the opportunity to delete stuff. I have learned to think before I react. She has been good for the last 7 months. I just fear another couple year or so and I will be hurt again. I guess that is a normal feeling after such an event. Sometimes in my rambling thoughts I wonder who this person really is that I have agreed to spend my life with. I wonder if I really know her. I hope I made the right decision to give her a second chance and don't regret it. Few months later, it has been 1 year since my wife's PI stayed away for 25 days before I finally talked to her. We talked and she confessed to sleeping with 2 guys and meeting another. She was texting and talking to several. I still hurt at times. What really bothers me is I believe she lied about the whole truth. She changed her phone number and email. She doesn't get on Facebook or MySpace either. She appears to be doing the right thing now. However, I have checked her old email and through pretending to be her have found that she slept with another guy and met him a lot according to him. If this is true, she lied to me when she confessed. The time she needed to be truly honest to save her marriage, she lied again. Can I ever trust her? My question is everything is going good now. I am unhappy that she lied. I have thought about asking her again about what happened and see if she is honest this time. We have never talked about why it really happened. I would like to know why. She said she was stupid and didn't know why. I don't believe that is a good enough answer. Other than the one night of confession we never talk about it. Is this a good thing? I feel we should talk about why it happened and how we can never let it happen again. Should I just let it go? It still bothers me. I feel talking will help me. I would like to clear all my questions and talk openly about how and why it happened. I would like to do this before the 1 year mark. I want to move on. I know I will never forget but want to try to move on with our lives. A year later, if I knew then what I know now, I would have waited before confronting my WW. I would have used a VAR and some programs to forward her texts and emails to me. I confronted too early and didn't get all the truth. I know there were other men and she never has come clean to this day. She never did gaslight me but she shut up about it all like it was over and in the past. I unfortunately remember every day. What hurts must be that in my eyes she is still lying because she never came totally clean or tried to explain why. I only got the "I was stupid, I'm sorry, it will never happen again" speech. She is transparent. I know where she is always and she doesn't hide her phone. As far as the truth, I asked her questions of how many men how many times. She gave answers but I don't believe them. I have since learned of others. I have never brought it up to her. I would hope she would come clean but doubt that will happen. I am 99% sure of others. She was never angry or blamed me. We never talked about it past the first month or two. My comment: what do you think about these two short lessons? One reconcile story, one divorce story.